this season, Denita's past indiscretions, they're continuing to haunt her. And one of the themes that I'm noticing is the importance of truth. So as the season progresses and more unravels, how do we see her character have to deal with the whole idea of reaping what she sows?
Well, first of all, Denita is one of those people, and I said before, she has suppressed and compartmentalized and dealt with things that she wanted to and just hid stuff back that she didn't want to. And there are some things that she's dealing with that she didn't even know were hers. Mm-hmm. And, it's one thing to deal with your mess and it's your mess. But to inherit some mess and then find out that it's still called your mess is a lot. So she's trying to navigate it the best way she can, trying to give that facade of being okay. But you know how that is with a person who's been taught perfection, or you got to do this for the kingdom, you got to look this way, you got to do that. So it's pretty nasty for her, and she's having to sleep with that and deal with that and live with it.
Mm-hmm. Now, Tamar, we're seeing a bit more of Sasha this season, and I guess some may say she's a little bit sinister, and we're seeing her maneuver her way through the system. So do you think her knowing so many secrets from, Kingdom records is an overall asset to her career aspirations with this whole
Sasha knowing any information is an asset. Because she's going to use what she got to get what she wants. And, I just think that she'll probably make her way back. I'm hoping she'll make her way back to Kingdom, because what she doesn't want to do is be at odds. She really truly wants to be liked by everyone. And I don't think that she wants to, be the enemy, although she'll play that, that card for her to get one up on everyone. She'll do whatever she needs to do. And I appreciate that about her.
Now, Soraya, Rebel is balancing a lot this season with her internal conflict of being a gospel artist, as well as everything that she's battling personally. And obviously, she's under a lot of criticism because of her past. So how does someone like Rebel, with so many complexities, serve as basically the perfect person to minister through gospel music?
Oh my goodness. Every way, from the reality of her circumstances and her history and just her life thus far. I feel like for people at home across the world, whoever may watch the show, they're going to relate to her, and they're going to understand a little bit more, even on the gospel level from the church. I feel like it brings both sides of the spectrum together, for both sides of secular or worldly or church in Christian or whatever denomination, to understand each other and to ultimately know that all of us need redemption, and we all have issues, and there's something to learn for everyone. And I don't want to say that my character only services people in the streets. I feel like she's definitely a vehicle, I would say, for people to just understand us and come back down to a human standpoint when we're dealing with each other in the real world every day. And I think that if you look at Rebel from that aspect, I feel like a lot of people can get something from her storyline, or how she's even dealing with her faith and kind of navigating through the system. So like I was saying before, everyone at some point in their life has something happen to sparks an interest about faith if they don't already have it. And I'm really happy to play the character that is a little bit, shakes the room a little bit.
Yeah, Rebel definitely shakes the table. So Lamaya, Essex's relationship with Taj, at least to me in season 1, seemed surface level until a pivotal moment in season 2 occurs. So how does that tap into the whole idea of women maybe ignoring red flags for the sake of love and family, especially compounded with what we have seen transpire with Rebel?
I think every woman can relate to turning a blind eye for the bigger picture, or to just not accepting, maybe making excuses for. I think Essence is, she has this picture for her life, and she is in love, and she's finding herself basically ignoring, like you said, all the red flags, and compromising herself. And I think as women in relationships, especially younger, we've all been in a situation where we've compromised who we are. We've tried to make excuses for it, or we've tried to validate some of the behavior. And I think in this, she's struggling between, look, I know what I want from my life. I know this picture. Sometimes the picture is greater than what it actually is. And I think right now she's just struggling between, what she wants and what she knows is real. And sometimes you have to find your way back to yourself. I think Essence is at a point, where she gave the ring back and she said, look, I can't do this anymore. I can't just ignore that this happened. I saw it myself with my own eyes, so I think she's just that balance, that struggle between finding her way back to herself and accepting that this might not be that bigger picture, So I think we've all been through that.
Now, Keandra, I love that CJ is taking more of a leadership role. So how do we see her basically being forced to step into, more of a spotlight? How do we see that play out with her getting out of her comfort zone and finding her voice within such a strong family of faith specifically?
Yeah, she's definitely having to step out. It's crazy. I was saying earlier that it seems like CJ is being forced to create this image of herself that she didn't know existed. It's almost like she wants to be something more, but she didn't know how, it seemed. And so now with the tragedy with her mom and her grandmother and grandfather, everybody coming in, she's being forced to step up to the plate, being forced to preach, being forced to, create. And it's almost like it's affording her the opportunity to create who she wants to be, to create a new CJ for herself. So we start seeing CJ, she's putting together a TV special, she's starting to create more, she's writing songs and she's recording. And so it's kind of like CJ is even seeing a new CJ be formed, by force. Yeah. So.
Now, Miss Loretta, you always play, an amazing mama, and you are such a great addition to the cast. So can you tell us a little bit about how Darlene's relationship with Denita as her mother and, business partner impacts Kingdom Records and how that plays out throughout the season?
Well, I think this is so interesting with the way the world is going now. It makes you wonder about what happens with a famous mom and a famous daughter, like Beyonce maybe and her mom, and the Beehive and all of that. And I think by season 3, the women of Kingdom Business will have our hive as a result of all the things that are happening this season.
Well, what would the hive be called?
Oh, I don't know. I'm going to let Yolanda decide.
What should we just call it?
Baby's hive.
It can't be a navy.
She's a very strict mother. I've guarded her all through her career to make sure that she is on the very top. And I'm just here to make sure, because that husband of hers is just a mess. I'm here to help her make sure that she keeps her position. And I love her so much. And she knows what to do with me when I get a little out of hand. Did you see how she marched me out of the office?
Yeah, that was definitely an interesting scene, because it showcases how when you come into womanhood, how you have to step into your womanhood and sometimes go against your mother, which is very uncomfortable.
People send me scenes on Instagram with them in the scene talking, going, "Oh no, she didn't. Oh my God." I was like, "Oh my God." It's just amazing how it's affecting everybody and how into the story everyone that's watching it, they love it. They absolutely love it, because it's a part of what everybody has been missing for the last 3 years because of COVID and everything, getting that church, getting into the church and being a part of everything. So I think it's very important that this show is there for people to see and know about what's coming with the music.
Absolutely.
Now, speaking of the music, that's actually one of my favorite parts of the show. The music is phenomenal. So are you guys involved in maybe the writing or the song selection at all? And it also kind of serves as another character in the show. So how does it amplify the stories even further? And Miss Yolanda, I will end with you.
I think that music, it's such a great tie in like a unifier, because everyone on earth has a heart. We don't think so sometimes, but everyone has a heart. And when you touch, the quickest way to touch someone's heart is with music. So making your point with music and describing a situation without describing it through music, it's so ingenious that, you know, you couple the acting, the script with music that really brings out the script. I was talking to Kirk about Soraya's performance of Grace, and I'm like, that just shows you how, oh my gosh, that Grace is not just for church people. Grace is for everybody breathing. And her performance and the way she, you know, she interweaved that into that actual on-screen performance was just amazing. Same thing with Keandra at the piano,
that was so good.
at CJ, you know, and that's a song that's usually for an ensemble or a group, and she brought such, I mean, I wanted to cry twice because it was, you felt her. And I think what the music does is that it makes you become that character at that time, because you can relate to whatever is going through their minds and whatever you've gone through or whatever you're going through. So that's the genius of Kirk, Warren, everyone that has a hand in the music, and also the writers. And even with Miss Loretta singing amazing. What were you singing? He Looked Beyond My Faults?
Yes. Amazing Grace.
Amazing, yeah. And it just, all of those things, they make so much sense that it's like, why wouldn't this be full of music with all of this talent on this screen? Why wouldn't it be?
Right.
Well, you guys have done an amazing job this season. I look forward to seeing season 3. You know, hopefully that's on the way. And thank you guys so much for your time. It's been an honor. Happy holidays. Stay safe. All that good stuff.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.